Jimmy G an upgrade over Derek Carr?
Jimmy G is not an upgrade over Derek Carr, but it's crazy to hear the culture fit, because when I look at Derek Carr when he was on the Raiders and I look at the culture, I think of Derek Carr, especially like what they have gone through, whatever the past 5 years. He's been the constant leader. The whole AB stuff, the whole Coach Gruden stuff, anything dealing with the ownership, like he has been the consummate, true pro and leader that kept that entire organization together, to even give him a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Despite all the stuff. So I don't think he's a better upgrade, but in terms of, a culture fit, of course, it's the Patriot way now. You know, Jimmy G was there. He's familiar with that. But overall, just in terms of like the player, I mean, Derek Carr, I think one of his worst seasons was Jimmy G's best in terms of, yards and touchdowns and stuff like that. And so overall, no, not an upgrade, but in terms of like who's a better quarterback, I think it's Derek Carr.
So let me get this clear. You're saying that Derek Carr was the culture.
Yes.
And they're saying he wasn't a culture fit. So when you hear that,
when I hear that, that tells me he had absolute zero support from top down in the organization.
Wow.
That's what I hear when I hear that.
TJ?
Is he an upgrade over Derek Carr? Absolutely. He's an upgrade. Is he a better quarterback? No, he isn't. But he for sure is an upgrade because Jimmy G understands what McDaniel wants. That's why he's there. He understands what he wants. There's going to be no gray area. You want this? I know the audibles. I know exactly what you're looking for. I know how you want me to operate this system. And Derek Carr is the better quarterback. But for whatever reason, him and McDaniels, it didn't mesh last year. They had to move on, and it showed you. Jarrett Stidham comes in against the 49ers in that defense when everybody was saying you couldn't get an inch, and throws for over 300 yards. That shows me right there. Jimmy G's an upgrade. And he can be an upgrade and not be a better quarterback, because that's exactly what this is.
What do you make of the culture question, that he didn't fit their culture?
What is your culture? Like, McDaniels, you have not been successful as a head coach.
Nowhere.
This is Bill Belichick's culture that you may be trying to implement, and you can't do that if you haven't accomplished what he accomplished. And so what is the culture? I don't know what the culture is. Getting rid of good players? Because you just got rid of Waller today? What's the culture? Winning creates a culture, not the coach. Winning creates a culture of this is how we're going to do things. If you haven't won and you telling me to do X, Y, and Z, I'm looking at you like I was outspoken as a player. I wish a coach would say something crazy to me and we losing and I don't like the way you're doing things. I'm going to for sure say something back. And all my coaches that's listening to this, they know that for a fact. I'm going to say something. And so...
They're like, yeah, TJ, go say
what's the culture? What is it?
Yeah.
This is not New England. This is Las Vegas.
But you think he can be an upgrade, but not a better quarterback?
Yeah, Derek Carr has proven that he's a really good quarterback. I don't know what happened last year. Last year was a mulligan. But it's an upgrade because Jimmy G understands if there is a culture, what that culture is supposed to look like, and he's going to implement it. He understands that.
Shady, where you at? Is Jimmy G an upgrade?
No, don't even finish. Jimmy G's not an upgrade. I mean, like, first of all, and to address the culture conversation.
Yes.
What culture? What culture have the Raiders shown you guys, showing us, showing me, showing America? What? First of all, they have 6 new head coaches in a row that Derek Carr had to play under, right? You look at the thing they had with Antonio Brown, right? You get this Pro Bowl, All-Pro, All-Decade wide receiver. You can't keep him. Whatever happened, I don't know what happened. He said this, they said this, it didn't work out. Move forward. Gruden, I think Gruden's a hell of a coach. They had all that situation, right? He leaves. Where's the culture part? Then you get McDaniels, like he's some great coach. What's he ever did? If he's not under Bill Belichick with the Patriots and Tom Brady's not there, Bill's going to lose, McDaniels going to lose. So since he's been a head coach, even with the Broncos, he didn't do nothing spectacular. He wasn't winning no games. So when they say culture, where's the culture at? So then you go out there and get Jimmy G. Cool. Oh, wait, before I get down with the culture. Derek Carr is the reason why your best player, Devontae Adams, is even there. Then you tell Derek Carr to go home. So I was like, hold on, I'm here. I'm the best wide receiver in the game. I came to the Raiders to play with Derek Carr. That was the selling point. Now he's gone. Culture. Yeah. That culture to you?
Well, your boys never had you.
I just don't believe in lying. I don't know if it's culture's lying. I don't know what it is, but that's dysfunctional in my culture. That's called dysfunctional. Okay, let's move forward. Jimmy G. You bring Jimmy G there, right? They're gonna tell you this. Hey, listen, he's culture. He wins games. He goes to the playoffs, wins the championships. Let's talk about that for a second. Because you said it's upgrade. The 49ers, listen, and the 49ers.
I asked the question.
Hold on.
I asked the question.
And the 49ers, and his 49ers playoff games, right? They've averaged 190 yards rushing. That's really, really good, Niners.
That's great.
That's great. The quarterback has averaged 100 passing yards. 100. Are you kidding me?
You know what it is?
40 carries a game.
They're running the ball so
compared
well.
to 15 passes a game. That means that Jimmy G, they're running the ball extremely well, and they're playing great defense.
Yeah.
If I said they're a better team now with Jimmy G and not with Derek Carr, like, how can it be when Derek Carr's a better quarterback? He actually throws the ball. Not just a sweep to Debo Samuels and get the ball to Christian McCaffrey and let the defense go out there and win the game, or the head coach. Yeah. Kyle Shanahan was a great coordinator. Like, he could put anybody in there. A rookie did the same thing. I'm lying. The rookie did a better job than Jimmy G.
Because there was a great culture there.
Not even culture, just great culture.
Right.
Great culture,
right.
But also great defense, hell of a coach. So you say culture.
Right.
You going to the Raiders, that defense, you have to go out there and win some games, Jimmy G, and I don't think he can do it.
I can relate to Derek Carr because I've been invited to things, but people wanted my wife there for the event. So it was just a way to get me there. You got Derek Carr and you get Devontae Adams. Derek, thanks. Appreciate you, man. Well, we can move on.
Well, Devontae stays.
This, to me, is why we have the confusion over what the culture means and why they said culture.
Okay.
Because they don't really have any other explanation as to why they would trade out Derek Carr for Jimmy G. They're essentially the same player, quarterback-wise. I don't see it as being...
What?
I don't see it as being a significant upgrade. I mean, if you look at their numbers...
Look at their numbers.
Completion percentage, passing yardage, passer rating, like... You take away the records of the two teams, and I dare say that the 49ers have been, for the last few years, or since Jimmy G's, a better team than the Raiders have been with Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr will have more passing yards because they're behind. They're throwing the ball a little more than the 49ers, who's winning, so...
And he's playing a full season.
Yeah. So, to me, the reason is we don't have an explanation for why we're changing out, other than clearly the relationship between Josh and McDaniels and Derek had hit a bump in the road, where they were like, we need to change things for change's sake. Sometimes teams do that with the Raiders. But the idea that Derek Carr, as the leader that he was, as the guy that he was, that you're now, I mean, to me, that's an indictment of the Raiders.
You don't think that 49er game, to me, that was when they said, oh, this is it. When Stidham can come and throw for over 300 yards against that defense, that right there gave Josh McDaniels the idea, this is it. We can't deal with this anymore. And it's something that's going on. It was something.
Fair. But,
you know, Stidham was in New England with him, too.
Can we flip it to the other side? Like the 49ers, for all their success.
Before we do, real quick, I think, so in football, the reason why the second contract's always the easiest to get is because the team, right, that they probably draft you, and they see you every day. I see you on your worst day, your best day. I see you in the locker room. I see you at practice, at games.
Events,
They know you.
So they know you. So the second contract with your same team is easiest to get. Why is it that the 49ers, with all the success they had, going to championships, going to Super Bowl, going to all these playoff games, all these wins they got, and they couldn't wait to give rid of Jimmy G? Yeah, look. Take all these first-round draft picks, please. We got to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
If he's so good to the culture, so good, why do they do that?
Yeah.
I got questions.
No. So,
They're trying to get over the hump. They want to get over the hump.
So what I was just about to say when you interrupted me, you just said it. That's it. Like, for all the success that they had with Jimmy G, why would they not want to keep Jimmy G? And the other side of it is, so Jimmy G's going to the Raiders. But he will not have one of their top veteran weapons in Darren Waller.
No, they're last. They're last. Because with Waller, I saw them at least like just having more options and being more competitive because in that system, the tight ends, it's a tight end friendly system. But right now, I see them last because obviously Kansas City, they are who they are. I'm never, ever, ever, ever betting against Mahomes, period, Andy Reid. And then number two, I mean, I could see, I love the fact that Denver hired Sean Payton. I believe, speaking of culture, he knows how to build a culture there, a winning culture. He's going to demand a lot out of everyone there. And then the Chargers, they're always like, I'm just not sure. I just don't trust them. But getting Kellen Moore, what he has done with that Cowboys offense,
great addition.
I can see them just, I mean, he got hired as soon as he got fired, he got hired immediately. I can see them being super explosive. In the Raiders, again, people just don't trust Josh McDaniels, don't know what he's going to do. We don't know what the culture is. We don't know what his culture is. You can't bring the Patriot way everywhere because every time someone tried to bring the Patriot way to their team, it did not work.
Tom Brady's not there. Yeah.
TJ, where you at?
If we're in the penthouse, the Raiders in the basement. They're in the basement.
No basement in Cali. In Vegas, never mind.
They actually do have some basements out here.
Anaheim.
Yeah. But the Raiders, they are fighting uphill. He already spoke of, you got Mahomes and Andy Reid. The Chargers, to me, are the second best team in this. Like, Kellen Moore can call plays.
Yes, he can.
And Herbert
yes,
is the Chargers are going to be so much better this year. And Sean Payton is proven. Sean Payton lost Drew Brees and was still winning. And so, by default, I mean, the Raiders, they looking up at everybody like, we just trying to get there. You're giving away good players in Waller. You have, right now, at least on paper, the worst quarterback in the league. Probably the worst head coach, or not in the league, in the division. The worst head coach in the division. Where do you go? You're in the basement.
Yeah.
Shady?
Yeah, I'm behind these two. No, I think they're last for all them different reasons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them.
Well, yeah, same. I mean, it's tic-tac-toe +1 because the Chiefs got better, right? They're improving their offensive line. They're certainly not going to get worse.
Are they really improving, though? Orlando Brown is...
all right.
Andy gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
They won. You going to something. They won. Keep on the loose, too.
They won with punt returners.
Chiefs aren't going to be worse, right? And they're the class of the division, class of the conference, to be honest with you.
League. I mean.
Yeah, class of the league. Chargers got Kellen Moore. You would fully expect that they are going to be better. Denver Broncos get Sean Payton. Certainly expect them to be better. What do I have to hang on that Jimmy G going to the Raiders is going to make them better?
That culture.
No, but speaking of that, so you guys mentioned it, the importing or exporting the Patriots way, and why it hasn't worked, and yet we continue to see teams try to import it.
I don't believe in that Patriots way. What's the Patriots way?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Way.
Because when Tom leaves, Bill's not the same. Bill don't be winning games without Tom Brady. You know his record without Tom Brady? That's a whole other topic.
Under 500.
Under 500. Yeah, struggling. I
We agree with that.
Players.
We agree
when
with
Tom is there, everybody wins. If he ain't there,
You with that?
We got to go to break, right?
I'm with it. I'm with it. Yeah.
nobody wants to talk about that.
I'm
That's
with
the
that.
truth.
I'm with that.
It's Tommy's way.
Will only gives you as much as he's been told to give you.
No, I don't give it. I'm like, look, I'm not taking that bait. What they want? I'm not taking that bait.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.